this tree we are planting today is for tomorrow. These are the future things.
Kay le ñu tutu garab bi musit bam ngare tuto den lette
badi ngolo annanga yiro fi yiro ko matal
wallahi yiro kuma ya tabal wakana mo nyanta na yiro fi atuma no balwa balam ka betu berew
kore ali amiran to la balo stano yiro ko mabang yiro la nafa manke mo klinti bar dunia belem
nte janko jane de ni aja yin somanda juno ngultana sokono kana yiri tutola yirola nafa dunia belem mbadi ite membe sirin sokono na nyana yiro tutu ko mbela soma ani mamari on la soma
Good morning. Okay, thank you so much for giving me the privilege to the media. My name is Modu Jallo. I'm working on the forestry department. Yeah.
What is the importance of this replanting?
Okay, replanting today at the Brikama Kabafita Park, Forest Park, is all about restoration. We are restoring the environment, but as soon the environment is declarating from the trees. So we have to restore the plants so that we can achieve our goal in the future. For future coming, so that they can be also benefit out of the trees we are planting today. Because this tree we are planting today is for tomorrow. These are the future things. Yeah.
When people were saying that Combo is now full because of people are trying to find a better place to live, like compound, they were saying that there is no forest at all around Combo. Is that something real? That you may say there is no forest around this premises in Combo because we are working on forest department?
Yeah, because that is a concept of the communities within the communities. Because the concept of the community, because population growth is in place, and right now the population growth we have in the place, the concept of the community will say there is no forest because of their own interest. But this is demarcation forest parks within our forest parks. It's a state forest. It's gazetted for numerous years, and this forest is since 1952 we have been. These are the demarcation of 1950 of agreement of for the state forest parks within this West Coast region.
How do you able to mobilize people to come for that so that they can able to join this massive tree plant?
Yeah, because we have to be sensitized. Yes, we have to sensitize because to give them the sensitization based on the importance of the trees within the environment. These are the motivation to bring to the community. You have to sensitize because most of the concept of the community right now, they don't have any clue of the importance of the trees. So as a foresters, we have to we call them and then we sensitize them what are the importance of the environment. And then you see, if you put them through, they may have a confidence and they have the courage to motivate them so that we can know the importance of the tree planting within the environment. It's all about restoration, restoring the forest cover.
Apart from here,
yes.
Where do you think you guys will be able to mobilize people to go and do the same project?
For today?
Not only for today.
Yeah, because this thing, we normally launch our national tree planting in August on the 15th. This is basically national tree plant for policy making. That is August on the 15th. The whole country should be planted tree. That's our plan since in the future. That's from 1952 up to date. So now I mean, the planting today, we have a support from the project called APS. I think it's APS. So this APS project gives us the support to the environment. So now, but from here, we are urging the whole community, all the members, all the, I mean, the people in the country, let them think about where, and we let them come to the plant and let them plant trees to the environment. It's important. From here, like we're going to Kabafita, well, from here also maybe next year we target at Nyambai Bamba.
Your name again?
My name is Modu Jalo,
Thank you, sir.
Forestry Department. Yeah, thank you.
with us. And also the communities of almost all those communities that I've mentioned, and the journalists who are here. I think the importance of this tree planting cannot be overemphasized. We know over the past years, we have lost a lot of important indigenous trees. We have lost a lot of indigenous trees that are fading away. And it is important for us to replenish those trees for the future generation of this country. And these trees are very, very important in our life. I was struck by when I was, while we are on this process, one of the president of this local medicine, so I don't know the actual name, Mahas, they call it, Prahas. Dr. Pui mentioned, came up with a particular type of leaf, and then it was stuck on the side of the sap. And then he mentioned something during those days when people are taken for circumcision. When you use that thing, this is the one that normally cures people in the bush. That time we don't go to the hospital. We only utilize, Ampaka, this leaf is here. He came with this leaf, and it was actually stuck like this. And he was speaking was the importance of this leaf. And these are things that are almost extinct in our forest, in our environment. So that means those roles are no more going to be seen by the future generation of this country. So I think this project, the ABS, the Nagoya Protocol, access to benefit sharing, it's something that is going to revitalize this, and then the communities around can benefit from the importance of these genetic species that are fading out of this country. And it is our role, the current generation, to ensure that we really build the future that we want our children to inherit. So as the project is funded by Jeff Global Environment Facility through the implementation of the United Nations Environment Program, and me as the operational focal point for Jeff, and also a council member for Jeff, it is my coming here to see this thing going successfully is really befitting. And I want to thank everybody, CSOs, all those partners that are here to ensure that we build a future that will be proud to hand over to our future generation. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody. And it's not only tree planting, it is tree growing. You know, we have planted a lot of trees, but planting is one thing. Ensuring that the trees reach that level of benefits, and that is also another responsibility. And I'm going to charge that responsibility to those custodians of the forest to ensure that whatever measures that is necessary to maintain these trees until they benefit. It may not be us, but one time director mentioned, I planted a tree, not necessary for me, but maybe my children will realize that this tree is planted by my father. So that is what we have to be thinking about, not is when it's happened to us right now. So on that note, I thank you very much, you, the media team, also for being with us to ensure that almost 100 people may be around here, but by the time we finish here or before we leave here, millions of people will see what we have been doing in Gambia in our own small way. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Good morning to you all. As the protocol dictates, we are very pleased to be here today, and we are very pleased to be hosted by the Governor of West Coast Region, Alhaji Osman Boja, the Executive Director of NEA, Dr. Baji, the Project TA, Dr. Kagbo, Deputy Director of Forestry, Malan Jasi, and our own director of CPCU, who is a gender person, and also sitting here on behalf of the Honorable Minister and Permanent Secretary of MECNA. This is a very important event for us as a Department of Parks and Wildlife, for simple reason that a lot of the trees we are planting today, or we are restoring today, have been extincted in this area here. Some we are newly introducing them today. The purpose of this project is access to benefit sharing. What benefits are we talking about? The genetic resources that is coming out of these plants is what we are talking about here. To put it into context, if somebody have taken Jambakatam from here and taken to the United States or Europe or somewhere, we are looking at the patent right. And this project is here to do that. We are piloting it in 2 sites in the Gambia right now. That is within this greater Kabafita Furia ecosystem, and by extension to Kiang West National Park. And it's extremely important we look at this. As Dr. Baji mentioned, I planted a jarro tree here. Before that jarro is ready to be harvested, I'm already on the ground. But my children, my grandchildren will see, they will know this legacy of my father, and I'll be very proud of that when I go on the ground. It is important we plant these trees. The person who started this project here, these Malina trees here, is no longer with us. This is Eddie Brewer, who was the director of forestry, wildlife, and agriculture in 50s and 60s. It is important today we are benefiting a lot from this tree here. And this Nagoya protocol this project has started a long time ago in the offing. I think I remember this was started in Nagoya, a city in Japan, somewhere about in 2012. The veterans who started negotiating this, at least 3 of them are of blessed memories. The former director of forestry, Abdullah Sane, the former permanent secretary of Megna Keba Sonko, and Babukar Mbai of State Green. They are gone, but then their legacy is not lost with us. So what we are doing here, tomorrow posterity will also judge us on this. It is important, Dr. mentioned that it's not only about tree planting, it's tree growing. Since in 70s, in Jara time, they have planted a lot of trees in the country. Jame came, nice Barrow's time. Let's see what our legacy defines us. It is extremely important once we plant trees, let's grow them. Let's protect them until they reach a beneficial level. So on that note, we are very happy. We are very happy that there's a lot of media, different media outlets here. Media is extremely important. Whatever we are saying here, you can amplify this. In the next 100 years, whatever we are saying here will be online. And that is important. You do your best. It's not about the monetary gain that we do, but what legacy can we leave for our country? So on that note, we would want to urge the media to try to extrapolate whatever you get out here, spread it as much as possible in all dialects for people to understand. And that's extremely important for us. I thank you very much for coming. Assalamu alaikum.
I think on behalf of the Department of Forestry, I want to thank everybody who is here. Maybe let me know, start mentioning people that people have been mentioned, but all stakeholders here, I want to thank you very much, because that's what it is. We have to do it together to ensure that we restore our forest, because it benefits all of us. But also to say, as per what the executive director and the director of Parks and Wildlife mentioned, with regards to ensuring that the trees are monitored. Thank God now, within the forestry department, we have uh, a way of easily knowing where we plant the tree and what type of tree, and be monitoring it after uploading it. And we'll ensure that our guys on the ground will do that constantly, because we've trained a lot of people across the country in regards to GIS and so forth. So we want to thank the project through the coordinator and the director of Parks and Wildlife, but also our madam who is at CPC, because we know how she ensures that some of these things are done as it should be done, so that we'll get to where we are today. Where the host governor, thank you very much for hosting us, and thank you for coming yourself. I want to thank the media also conclusively for being here with us, so that other people will know that it is for us all, not only to say the Department of Forestry or Ministry of Environment. Yeah, it's not the governor's office also, but the whole of us should do something. Even at home, we can plant a tree, and it will help us all. Thank you.
First of all, let me say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and I will say Alhamdulillah Rabbi Alamin. This is a very, very important initiative, and I'm glad that we have our governor here with us, the executive director NEA, the director of forestry, deputy director of forestry, and the director of parks and wildlife. And not just them, we also have environment champions among us. You have the Gambia Environment Alliance, and of course the communities, the media, those who spread the very important information so that even those that are not here have the purview to know what is happening here. A lot of the times when we talk about tree planting, we think about the seeds, but there are more important things that tree planting, tree growing provide for us. For all of us standing here, we can see the difference in terms of the temperature. It's cooler here than when you're standing outside there. And that is one of the key benefits that these trees provide for us. And you talk about in terms of emissions, the Gambia Minister of Environment, we have set targets in terms of our achievement in terms of reduction in CO2. And for our national determined contribution, NDC2, we set 49.7% reduction in terms of emissions. And of course, the ministry alone cannot achieve this. We have the projects, we have the departments, we have so many stakeholders that are very much key to achieving this. And today I can proudly say that this initiative is towards achieving that NDC2. And this has so many environmental benefits. Reduction of flooding. I mean, you can see in the media, I was just looking at the newspapers, and I saw flooding in other countries, landslides. And this is because those trees that should protect and reduce the flooding, we will have settled in waterways. But there are ways that we can use nature-based solutions that we can use to reduce those flooding. And this tree planting is one of them. And forget about that, but look at the air. Our airs are polluted. You have these vehicles, you have these generators polluting the atmosphere. We don't see it with our naked eyes, but these are some of the things that are very harmful to our health, and it doesn't suffice immediately. It takes a long period of time. But these trees filters the environment so that we have clean air that we breathe with, and they said a healthy body is found in a healthy environment. And I think the Minister of Health will be very much happy that we are doing this initiative. And the fact that it's a very collaborative effort, we could have just come our own, we bring the media and do this thing, but that doesn't bring sustainability. When people are involved into something, they build their interest in it and see to it that it's successful. The people who planted this today wouldn't come and cut the trees tomorrow. They want to ensure that these trees leave a legacy so that the next generation can benefit from it. And the Gambia, we know in terms of energy for cooking, us women, we are mostly in the kitchen. We know how much this meant for us. But of course, we cannot continue to cut the trees without replacing them. Energy for cooking, of course, would continue, but it has to be done in a sustainable way. And there must be plans to ensure that there is something in the future that our children, our grandchildren can benefit from. And that is where tree growing comes into place. So I think this initiative is really important, and we are proud to be part of this. And I can proudly say that the Minister of Environment, the Permanent Secretary Minister of Environment are very much happy. They want me to convey this message to all of you that we are happy that you are part of this, and we want to continue to work as stakeholders. We want you to be part of this process. Tree growing is not just a responsibility for the Minister of Environment, but it's a national responsibility. It's a patriotic duty for each and every citizen to ensure that we plant trees for us, for our future generation, and for everybody to benefit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, colleagues from the media fraternity, the Executive Director of National Environment Agency, who is also the Chief Operational Focal Point for the country, my director, who is the director of the project, Mr. Gassama, the Director of Parks and Wildlife Management, the Deputy Director of Department of Forestry, and also the CPCU Director, Madam Jaju, the Governor of West Coast Region. Here we are today to be part of the history making. And if you could remember, Mr. Gassama did mention that One of the tree species that we have here is Malina and was planted by somebody who is no longer with us here. So where we are also, I'm sure in the next 25, 50 years, they will say we have a team that came here, planted different tree species. Having one tree species in a forest does not address the biodiversity. So that is why this project called Access and Benefits Sharing emanated from a convention that the Gambia is a party to, that is United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity. So the diversity is what we want to maintain. So we cannot have achieved the biological diversity when we don't include the communities. So this is one of the activities that we started a week ago, where communities were engaged. We discussed with them to see how we could address some of the issues that we are experiencing within this forest park, that is nearby forest park. And one of them is the waste disposal within the forest. We know coming here to do the tree planting without addressing some of these issues will be just come and see us, we are planting the trees, but the growing aspect of it will not be realized. And the ABS, as they did mention, is here to address some of the key issues. One is to make sure that the Gambia has policies or regulations that will guide us to implement the Nagoya Protocol. That is, how are we going to access the genetic resources in our forests? But not only accessing the genetic resources, how are we going to sustainably, benefit and also share the benefit that we are getting from these genetic resources? We cannot do it if we don't diversify the tree species that we have. And also, there is a need as one of the components of the project, we need to do a research to valorize these genetic resources in the forest and also partner with stakeholders, because Nagoya or ABS protocol is something new, not only for the locals, but also for stakeholders even in the government system. So what do we do? It's important that since in the inception of the project, we need to create awareness so that stakeholders from the government up to the communities are aware what ABS is all about. So that is why we spent a lot of time engaging stakeholders whose responsibility, primary responsibility lies in protecting these forests. You know, and you've seen when we are planting one or two dump sites within the forest. That is not our making. And we want stakeholders, particularly communities deciding, satellite communities within this forest, to make sure that these issues are addressed and immediately. So this is one thing, and we are going to engage stakeholders, key stakeholders. That is the Birkama Area Council, National Environment Agency, the Forestry Department, to see how we are going to address this issue. Because we cannot spend a lot of money in planting the trees and not addressing the issues that will jeopardize our efforts. So it's important that all stakeholders, be it part of us or people who are viewing this activity, to take their responsibilities. We have policies, but implementation of those policies or regulations lies in the public. So whoever is caught wanting of doing anything that is contrary to the law, you'll be brought you'll be booked, and you are going to be publicized so that whoever is doing it will definitely know that you have done something that is illegal. So this is one thing, and the project started this year, 2025, and we hope to continue with the project up to 2029. So as a result, we have a long way to go, but also diversifying, as I said, Malina alone, most of you can say, this is the only variety we have in the Nyambai Forest Park. And here we are now planting about 600 tree species or different varieties. So that is also going to boost the diversity of Nyambai Forest Park, Kabafita, and also Bamba Forest. But it's important, as I said, the communities to participate or collaborate with us to make sure that issues are addressed, especially encroachment in the forest and also the waste disposal. We know we have NAVEX here, they have their boreholes here, and pollution could, affect our lives. So how do we do that? By raising awareness, by also stakeholders collaborating with us. We cannot be planting trees here when people are polluting the environment, people are polluting the aquifers. So it becomes to, nothing. So it's important that we collaborate with not government institutions, but also communities who are, of course, they've participated with us during the 3 or 4 days sensitization programs. Director Gasma did mention that, of course, the focus of the project is Nyambai Forest Complex. Those are the 3 forest parks, Nyambai, Kabafita, and Bamba. But we have extended the hand to Kian West National Park, where we have a lot of genetic resources. It's a Gambia project, and we want to maximize the gains of the project. That is why Kiang West National Park will also be included in some of these activities, including, of course, when we have the policies or regulations that we need to promulgate so that people will understand exactly that the genetic resources we have in our forests should be sustainably used and to benefit the general public. So on that note, I will have to thank the Global Environment Facility for also supporting or funding the project, and also our immediate implementing partners, that is the United Nations Environment Program. And I thank you very much for attending to our call. Thank you. Look at when we started planting the trees early part of August, we've planted more than 300 tree species in Kiang West National Park, where we targeted more than 10 communities or satellite communities within Kiang West National Park. So for this year, we are targeting about 800 tree species in the Gambia. So next year, we hope to start earlier than even this year, knowing that now the rainy season pattern has changed. So before the end of the project, we hope to plant as much tree species as possible. For this year, this is going to be the last planting exercise. Left rows alone, we can continue, but we don't want to spend a lot of money in planting the trees, knowing that the rainy season is almost getting away. So, but come next year, we will plan it better so that we have a lot of tree species being planted. So that come to Nyambai Forest Park, you will not be only thinking of Malina, but you have different tree species that are needed. Yeah, particular project that is very much particular to make sure that environmental issues are addressed. So this is also something that we've been using when we had awareness raising with the communities, that we know people dumping within this area are known to you. So as Maslaha, we know everybody that if you report the person that you are doing this and you are being punished legally, you may be terming the person as a bad person. But for this project, we are not taking anything light. We will make sure that project is implemented, and issues that we think will jeopardize the success of attaining the goal of the project, we are not going to take it very, very light. So we know we have the laws, we have the policies, we have regulations to make sure that these things are addressed. We are now appealing to the communities who are residing in this area to collaborate with us to make sure that dumping is really a thing of the past as far as this project is concerned. NEA, for instance, we've been prosecuting people, and but the public is not even aware of that. But if you go to the KMC, when we have our environmental courts, you realize definitely NEA is doing a lot when it comes to prosecuting people. Depend on when maybe you have the interest to know exactly what is going on. But like I said now, since we have an extra eye on this particular forest, because this is funding that is coming from the Global Environment Facility, and they'll be here to monitor on what we are doing, whether we are doing it perfectly or not. And dumping is going to be one thing that they will be very much particular. If we are implementing a project in a particular area and we are not addressing some environmental issues, that is going to be a big blow for the country. So that is why I'm saying we will definitely collaborate with National Environment Agency, Forestry Department, Brikama Area Council to make sure that these issues are addressed. But more importantly, the communities themselves that are contributing to this dumping, because we are not excluding them. This dumping is actually happening in the present, and some of them are also contributing. Imagine now you living very close to the forest, having somebody from somewhere coming to dump, and you are not aware. So that is something that somebody cannot, accept. So they know exactly who are doing it, and we want to put a stop to that. So yes.
In Foni, but it's not only happening in Foni. Yes, in Salem, in Nyanija, in the Combos here, Burfut Nema, Gunjur, Bontokoto, and Makumba are here. This is an environmental crime that is going, but it needs everybody's hands on deck. It's not the responsibility of this project to go and prosecute people for dumping here. That's a direct responsibility of become area council in consultation with National Forestry, because this is in the forest area. If you pick up your waste from your house, you come and dump it in my house, I'll take you to court. And this is the problem with all of other people are blaming NEA. It's not the co-responsibility of NEA. It's important we all work together. At least we can achieve something better for our country. Like the Mariam had mentioned before, Ministry of Environment is in dialogue with the company in Ghana that will look on the some recycling element involved with Become Area Council, National Environment Agency. But certainly, all these things will come out later on. But it's important that media do double their efforts to educate people to understand exactly why dumping is not allowed in Nyambai forest here, because we have a lot of cancer underground aquifers here. Once you pollute that aquifer, all of us may end up having cancer or some other diseases that can have detrimental effect of our growth, stunted growth, or I don't know. I don't even want to mention a lot, but that's important that we all try to put our hands on deck. We want to give opportunity to the alcalde of the area, is the host alcalde Wellingara here. This area is in Wellingara. They can speak in local language for your community to understand what we are speaking. Then from there, we give it to the governor. Governor,
Assalamu alaikum. Uh, First of all, I want to thank the Executive Director NEA, the Director of Parks and Wildlife, the Deputy Director of Forestry, the Director of the CPCU at the Ministry of Environment, and the Governor of West Coast Region. I am here to represent Alcalo Ajaratu Fatu Sow, who is the Alcalo of Farato. And he wants me to tell you that she is very happy about this exercise. And basically, we own this forest. Whatever happens in this forest benefits Farato Force. And if there is any destruction in the forest also, we are going to be the first victims of the destruction. So therefore, it is our responsibility to participate in any activity that is happening here. But on the area of waste management, I just wanted to elaborate a little bit, because waste management is a very important issue for this country. For that being the reason, when I came to Farato 25 years ago, there were a lot of undeveloped plots. So people will just leave your compound and dump in the undeveloped plot. Now the population density is increasing. Gambia's population density is 270 people per square kilometer, and Senegal is just 98. So waste management is a serious issue for this country. If you want to stop people from dumping here, there is also no dump site, and there is no regular collection. Before, people had big compounds, they used to dump their waste at their backyard. Now those compounds have become smaller. Farado used to be a village. Only Banjul and KMC used to have regular waste collection. Now, from here to Katong, everywhere is developed. There is no empty space. So we need to seriously look at solid waste management and have it organized so that we will prevent things like this. Indiscriminate dumping has a lot of environmental effects. Some people mention the pollution of the groundwater, which, if it happens, is almost impossible for us to clean it up. There's a lot of pollutants in the environment, including mercury, cadmium, lead. All these things have serious health effects on the human being. And we have also a very bad tradition of open burning. Open burning doesn't solve problems. It increases the environmental effects of waste. It spreads it over a larger area, and it also affects more people. So seriously, this is a national appeal, not just to government, because sometimes as Gambians, whatever you say, they will say government. But we as a person, if you use something, you have just a plastic bag in your hand, you can take it until you dispose it properly. But if you drop it here, it's going to take a lot of resources and time to clean that up. So we have to think about ourselves as a country and know that we cannot be compared to other countries. Our population density is small. If we have pollution issues, it's going to affect all of us. 60% of our population lives between Banjul and Brikama. So if we have a pollution problem, 60% of the population is affected in a very short time. While, for example, there are 3 million people in Dakar, but something can happen in Dakar, it will take years for it to reach Casamas. So these are some of the things I want to appeal to myself and to all Gambians. And we in Farato, we want to thank you for choosing to implement the project in this community. And anytime you need our participation, we will want to participate. But the media also, I appeal to you guys to do a lot of sensitization on waste management. I remember years ago, so a woman challenged me on waste management. And I still remember that. And that's why I always talk about it. I gave a talk about waste management, and she told me they had an old well in their compound. So KMC was not picking their waste, so they dumped it in the well until it's full. And she said that, I said, okay, if all the things that you've put in that well were organic, then you are fine. But if you have also put batteries and hazardous things in that well, you have just helped those hazardous things get into the water table faster. You know what she said? Why didn't you tell me earlier? So I felt guilty. She didn't know. A lot of people in this country, they don't know about the negative impacts of waste management on themselves. So we need to redouble of effort in educating people on that. Thank you very much.
First of all, I want to use this opportunity to thank all of you here. Especially the stakeholders, the NEA, my own brother, Dr. Baji is here with team, the Department of Forestry, and the Jeff project. I know they are directly under the NEA. So having the media here, but most importantly, having the alcalos here, I see the community is very, very active, and that means everything to me. I had all the lectures. You know, when you let these technicians speak before you, there is not much to do. And then I know we have been standing here too long. So I just would want to make this very, very short. I don't think I have any technical information for you, but just as a government to thank everyone. I know there is a lot of sensitization going on, but this is beyond sensitization. And I had the questions, especially the questions from the ladies, the journalists who asked the technicians. And I think those are the things that the technicians need to really be addressing. Yes, there is a lot going on. There's a lot of dumping going on. But what do we do? Those enforcements, it's not going to be just left to the media to come and publish that. I'm asking the same departments who are the key stakeholders here to really come up with a way to get these things published. I have been a witness to one or two of the dumping, and the last one was in Salaji Forest, and the dumping came all the way from another region, all the way to West Coast. So I took it upon myself to actually have those people arrested, but this was from a supermarket in the other end. So we all have something at stake. Yes, I understand the sensitization going on, but it's your duty as the stakeholders, and most importantly, the trusted stakeholders, because you are trusted, that's why you are in this position. It's not going to be the community who is going to enforce these things. They can definitely report, but the enforcement still have to come from our people who are the experts in this. The forests need to be protected. Every species that is being planted here need to be monitored, but the people need to know what you are doing on a daily basis. That's the only way they can also be part of it. I had one of the alcalos just told you here. You know, they definitely kind of finally feel that they are part of it. And that's very, very important. The forest is, all of us are key stakeholders, but there are people who are entrusted to manage it. And that management need to come to you. That cannot be at the governor's office or at the alcalde's residence. This is something that you have to work together. I heard you mention the council, you mentioned the stakeholders. I didn't see them here, but we all need to be at the table when these things are discussed. We should not just be invited. If you know that we are equally important to you, please let us talk, let us talk, let us talk before today. Let us come and find ways to change those policies that we can definitely protect our forest. The forest is everybody's job to protect. It's not just the media or the forestry department, but there is a lot to do, and then we can only do it with the technicians' information. Those of us in the communities may not have all the knowledge you have. So it is left to you now to come and just tell us what we need to do together. And that togetherness is what's going to keep this forest alive and all other forests. I thank all of you. I think it's a big opportunity to be part of this, but most importantly, hearing the benefits of this particular project, I'm hoping that it's just going to be just the benefits for it today. Like we all said, we envision this is going to be years to come. So hopefully we'll all be part of that history. I know it's a long day already. Everybody have been standing here waiting, and you will have other places to go to. So on that note, I can just thank you and then wish all of you the best. Thank you. But this tree we are planting today is for tomorrow. These are the future things.
Okay, kay le ñu tutu garab bi. Musit bam ngare tutu den lette.
Badi ngodo annanga yiro fi yiro kumata.
Wallahi yiro kuma ya tabal wakana mo nyanta na yiro fi.
Atong no balwa balam kabitu beureu. Kore ali amiran to la balo stano yiro ko mabang. Yiro wala nafa manke mo klinti bar dunia belem.
nte janko jane de ni aje yin somanda juno wultana sokono kana yiri tutola yirola nafa duniya belem mbadi ite membe sirin sokono na nyana yiro tutu po mbela soma anim mamari la soma